The origins of Global Connect at the University of California, Irvine emanated from the School of Social Sciences and from an early initiative from the University of California, the Office of the President. It would be nice if they came out of high school and into the University of California system with a sense of place, knowing who they are in American society and having some sense of where the United States and society in general can be located in current world affairs in the 21st century.
I think being that the world is changing so fast globally, there's so much education going on in China and India that they're being educated. I feel like the U.S. might fall behind in a lot of ways if we're not teaching these kids today. Everybody else is learning this and they're not.
Globalization, the process by which a society takes on the characteristics of a fast food restaurant.
When I was in high school, I remember we didn't have these kind of topics. We didn't talk about, conflict. We didn't talk about emerging powers.
Israel's technically in Asia. It's in the Middle East, though, so it's between Europe and Africa and Asia. Okay.
Government. It is a parliamentary democracy, which is kind of like a blend between, British and American government, but it's still like unique to them.
When I grew up in the 50s, I was competing with other students in my class and other students on my block or other students in my city. These students are competing with the rest of the world. How do we preserve our current way of life and our current standard of living, and at the same time provide some support for the rest of the world?
All right, remember now, what we're talking about today is globalization and your role, individual role as a global citizen. So let's first of all start off with the concept of what is globalization. Anybody want to care to offer something up?
The technology and communications and connections we have with other countries, and how the news can, if it's just in one certain country, let's say Mexico, or right now with Heath Ledger's death, it spreads around to other people in other countries know, and that's how we get our news from different countries, what's happening, what's going on with the war and stuff like that.
Good. As we talk about globalization, there are 2 C's involved. Anybody want to help me on the 2 C's?
Connection and competition.
Connection and competition.
Connection by the axis of where you're going to talk or where you're going to communicate. And competition is the who you're going to compete against in future jobs and stuff.
What kinds of connections are we talking about?
Internet, TV, telephones.
Every person is going to have a different goal. Some people will become a global citizen by teaching kindergarten. Some people will become members of the Senate or a future president. Everyone can become a global citizen in a different way.
It's made up of faculty in the University of California at Irvine, mainly social science faculty, mainly faculty within the school's international studies program, political science, economics, sociology. It's made up of graduate students and our undergraduate student population that have been major contributors to the curriculum, to the development of study guides, act as mentors, and act as tutors.
Every other week we have workshops with the students, and it's very interactive. I have about 6 to 8 interns for my 2 sessions at Estancia High School, and the interns become part of that learning process. They stand up, they deliver the material to the students, and ask them questions and introduce new concepts to them.
When you guys think about a quality of life, what ideas do you think of determines the quality of life in a country? Yes.
Maybe the rich countries can donate a little bit of money to the poor countries.
If you have access to clean water, or you have a toilet that flushes. Hospitals and medical assistance, how quick you can get to the hospital versus how quick you can get to hospital in other places to get medical attention and stuff like that.
Millennium Goals are basically these goals, these 8 goals that the UN has developed. And by the year, I think like 2015, they want to make sure that these goals are targeted, such as like poverty and hunger, AIDS, maternal health.
We cover a lot of things, so like geography, economics, international relations, global issues, and environment. But it's usually the focus at the end of the year that is my favorite. So like, for example, China, we focus on the end of the year. This year it's going to seem like Iraq.
The students were better prepared if they took Global Connect curriculum in the 9th grade for a 10th grade world history curriculum. That was evident. The second thing was talking to students and seeing their energy and interest, watching them in the classroom. It's not hard to see students who are terrifically engaged. There is no boredom, there is no quiet in a Global Connect classroom. They fundamentally see themselves as different once they've studied these issues, and they compare what their life is like or has been to issues around the world.
The most rewarding experience is when the students would bring back information that they researched at home.
A young student, Sebastian Castellanos, who enjoyed Global Connect. I think he placed in a writing competition. His poster group might have won a competition. But he later started Estancia High School's Human Rights Club. Later, Estancia High School Human Rights Club won a Social Justice Award from the state of California.
It's a civics curriculum focused on international issues, but it's nevertheless talking about how people relate to the countries in which they reside, the countries in which they hold citizenship, and what's expected of both sides in that relationship. So we're really returning education to what, public education at least, to what it was originally designed for in the 1820s, and that was to ensure that people in the new United States became part of a national whole.
When I was a high school student, I wasn't exposed to these type of issues. So if you make that part of their homework, part of their daily routine, they might actually find interest in it. They might actually really enjoy what's happening around the world and might actually want to do something about it.